Hey everyone, it's Joe. I am in my apartment for the next 3 weeks, so I figured I would do some art stuff for y'all. Today we're going to be working on some creature design, which is one of my favorite things to do. I'm actually really glad that we're starting out with this. So I figured that we would just hop on over to Pinterest, which is usually where I like to start for creature design, and find some cool reference photos. Now, I've got a special page called Animals My Dudes, and here I save a whole bunch of animal pictures, specifically animals that I think have a lot of character or a lot of texture. Today I think I'm specifically looking for cool textures and cool shapes. I'm feeling some fur, I'm feeling some scales. Let's make some decisions here. Alright, I like how this guy, this octopus here, has all this skin between each of the tentacles. This big flappy mantle that can expand and contract. And so I also like how the different scales and polyps and things going all along here are kind of stretched out. So you got these wider ones up on top, and then it gets these really little ones at the bottom. So I'm going to copy that, just pop it into my canvas here so I can use it as a reference picture. I'll put it right there. Oh, sugar gliders. I love sugar gliders. Look how cute these guys are. They have this little snoot. You get these big eyes, just these big, completely pupil eyes, and these little ears sticking out to the side. And they've also got those skin flaps, so I'm thinking something like that might go well together. And let's maybe grab 2 more pictures. We don't want to go overboard. When I design creatures, I like to try and combine 2 or 3, and then everything else is just little details, little textures. So let's only grab 2 more pictures. So sugar gliders have those ears off to the side, and I also like big ears, like on this jerboa here. He's got these nice big flappy ears. This guy certainly has some interesting ears. Look at this lynx with the little furry bit sticking off the top. Maybe we don't go with ears though. Maybe we go with something like horns or antlers. That could be kind of cool. How about, ooh, look at this guy. Look at these feathers. I bet we could do something like that in place of ears. Let's look at what we've got so far. We've got skin and arms. We've got big ears that are going to be all feathery. We've got some big eyes. I'm thinking like a furry octopus with bird feathers, something along those lines. So let's try and grab a little bit of fur. I really do like otter fur, and I like how it looks like it's all wet right now, because otters have a lot of oil in their fur, and it causes it to clump up into those little arrows, so he'll already look like he was swimming. We'll grab this otter. He's so cute. Alright, these are our 4 pictures. These are the creatures we are going to turn into one thing. I've got my favorite drawing brush. It's this little ink brush I made, and if anybody wants this, or if anybody uses Autodesk Sketchbook Pro, I'm happy to share this file. Just send me a message, and I'll try and get these brushes to you. Where do we want to start? I think I want to start with this guy's little snoot. He's got a very cute little snoot, so let's try and draw his head. And I also like, if you see here, I'll lower the opacity on these. I really like how his fur, let me zoom in there. I really like how his fur comes down in this little teardrop shape. See that? A lot of animals have that. They've got this little ridge going right along their belly, and all their fur curls into the middle. That's because in almost every animal, the fur grows in the direction that the rain falls, so that rain will hit their back and then drip off the side. The one exception I can think of to this is sloths, whose hair actually grows from their belly up, because they're always hanging upside down. And so that's the direction they need the rain to drip off of them. But I really like that shape there, so we're going to try and get a little bit of that shape into the drawing. So I'm going to start out with a little bit of a head shape. So I'm just going to give what I think is kind of a general snout right here. He's got a little bit of a rounded snout right now. Oh, and he's got these little nostrils off to the side, and his mouth comes down like that. It's kind of cool. He's got this little, like, piggy nose right on the end. He's got this little area where whiskers would come off. He's got this area where the ears are, but again, I've got some plans for those ears. So I'm just going to draw in where the ears are going to go, and we'll play around with that in just a sec. Right, now that teardrop shape, I want to make sure that his fur comes down like that. We're going to give him a couple little waves of fur. He's a little bit chubby. We'll give him just a little bit of floof going out like that. Don't be afraid to draw something and erase and redraw. What you really want to do is make sure that your strokes are confident as you're drawing. You just want to do some big wide strokes as you're figuring out the shape. So I started pretty clumped up here, but now I want to get a little bit looser, and I think that's going to come in the form of this octopus. This guy just likes to drift around, so we're going to give him some big swirly shapes. Ooh, this is kind of cool. You know, I love this kind of drawing because you never know what you're going to end up with. I definitely did not have this as a plan when I started this. I thought we might be doing some sort of sea creature. I guess we are. I like the shape so far. And what I like to do for octopi and for getting that skin in between their tentacles is I draw a couple little wisps off like this, and then I'll draw some arched lines between to try and figure out where that skin is going to go. And squids and octopi get around in a really interesting way. Squids have a pouch in their head called a mantle, and it can expand and contract like a balloon, and they'll fill it up with water, and then when it's all filled up and their head looks like a big inflated water balloon, they will push all of it out of these little valves on the side of their head called siphons right there, and that's how they jet around the water. Cool. So we've got a sugar glider head on a weird octopus body. And we want this to be kind of furry, too. So let's take a look at that otter texture again. We got those little arrowheads, and I'm going to try and get a little bit of that texture in there. In how their fur clumps up, you get this arrow, and then you get this little middle section that goes back. So I always like to try and throw that in, this little middle section. This little ridge that goes back into their fur. Otters are really fascinating. I love seeing how their fur interacts with things. Sea otters will rub their fur on rocks before they dive down. That ruffles up their fur, and all the oil in their fur traps little bubbles of air, so that when they have to rise back up all that distance after hunting for fish, it'll be a little bit easier. They're a little bit lighter. They've got little floaties in their fur. I'm guessing all of these tutorials are going to have a lot of animal facts in them, just so you know. That's I used to work at a zoo, and I've always really liked animals, and it's something I'm very passionate about. So I love throwing little animal facts your way. Oh, he's looking pretty cute. Let's try and get a little bit of a cartoony sort of curve on this fur here. And again, I like those little skin flaps we can get, try and make him look a little bit chubby. Cool, good base. Let's do the ears. Let's do those ears. Let's draw a bunch of feathers out. Let's just make things all fluffy. I don't really care right now. We're gonna figure out exactly what's a feather and what's not. we're just throwing stuff in. Let's go ahead and throw in a little bit of like feathery texture along here and curl them back. Make him look like he's really outdone himself, like he's really getting dressed up. Add some little jags and little fluffy things along there. Tuck this in. Try and make it look like it's all coming from two very specific points, exactly where his ears would be, but of course these are not ears, they are feathers. Very cool. I like this guy. I like this guy a lot. And I really like the sugar glider's eyes. I don't think I want to mess with him too much. We could go for weird octopus eyes, but oh, he looks so cute. Give him some little reflections. Oh, he's so cute. Just like, yeah, look at that. Oh, adorable. I like to do one big round reflection on one side, and then a little bit of like a crescent moon reflection, like this guy right here down on the other side. And then everything else is black. I'm also going to give him just a little ridge of fur around where his eye is, just to show that it's actually, you know, nestled in his head. He's got an eye socket there. In fact, I might just tuck his eye into an eyelid a little bit here. This just involves me erasing the bottom part and drawing a little ridge to show that his eye is partially closed. Oh, I want to pet him. I wonder if he's a dangerous animal, or if he is a cuddly animal. I don't know yet. I don't know. It's fun when you're working on something like this to be coming up with a story as you go. It's, I think, one of the most rewarding bits. And this guy certainly has a story about him, I think. He certainly has some stuff going on. You know what? I really like this little shape we've got for the nose, so I'm gonna change it up just a little bit. I'm just gonna make sure that this one shape is really highlighted. Markings. Let's see what we can do with markings. Now, I'm not totally sure on this, and when I'm not totally sure on something, I like to throw it on another layer. We can give him like a little puppy dog kind of thing. That's pretty cute. Another one that goes down and like through his eye a little bit. I like looking at tropical fish, tropical, coral reef kind of fish, because they have these stripes that go through their eyes quite often. Now, that's done something a little inadvertent, which is this curve made it look like sort of a sad eyebrow, like that above the eye, and now he looks really pitiful. I didn't mean for this creature to be all sad, so maybe I'll change that up a little bit. Let's give him a little bit of a smile. I think the best we could do is try and pull this little mouth he's got up at the corners. You know what I was thinking as I was looking at this guy? He looks an awful lot like a sun bear. Big wrinkly clumps of fur, but look at their tongue. Look how long their tongue is. And you know what? I want to give this creature a big long tongue. So we're going to do it. We're going to do it. We don't want to make it so long that it touches the tail. You want to try and keep all the parts of your creature a little bit separate so you can see all the cool features you've given it. If I had the tongue going all the way down to the tail, the shape might get a little bit confusing. So I'm going to have the tongue end right about there. We don't have anything in the way of arms. Now I'm kind of okay with that right now. Kind of want to mess with it. I kind of want to mess with it. I don't know. We're just trying stuff. We're just having a good time. I don't know if I really see that. We'll get rid of that. Let's try something else. Little like claw feet, like maybe he was scrabbling in the dirt. That might be another aspect we pull over from sugar gliders. Just some little paws of the fingers curling over. If you have any cloth, I'm wearing a short sleeve shirt today, so you can't see it too well, but when I curl my elbow like this, I get some folds in the cloth, and animals get that with fur. If any of you have a dog and a cat, you probably realize when they tuck their legs up, you get this cute little bulge of fur right where there's any fold. Cool, so we've given him some little arms, and now he looks a bit like a Star Wars alien. I want to stick with this thing being furry, so I'm going to try and just add a little bit of fur to the rest of the tentacles. I'm going to do this pretty quick. You'll notice I don't do fur like zigzags. I do fur like I'm drawing grass, like I'm just wisping out little lines. And if you practice, you can get some cool little shapes that kind of look like zigzags while not being super connected like that. Animals tend to have coarser fur in places and thinner fur in other places, but I imagine that the fur around his legs might be a little bit thinner because that's where he needs to move. A lot of creature design is figuring out how would this creature actually get around? How would it eat? How would it move? How would it act and behave? You're trying to keep all those things in mind because the more you can add little thoughts, little details like that to your design, the more it's going to feel like a believable thing, like something that could actually happen, like you could find this out in the woods. I would love to find this guy out in the woods. So if I were a scientist going out in the woods and I stumbled upon this dude out in the jungles of Panama or wherever I was exploring with my pith helmet and my adventuring gear, what exactly would I call him? Should we give him any stripes or spots? He's got these stripes going right here. I'm not drawing it all in one swoop because I kind of want to give it this striped texture like it's part of his fur. So I'm just doing it in a controlled way, the same way I would do other fur on his person. Oh, the tufted squibbler. I don't know why. I just was looking at his legs here and wondering how he might get around, and I think that squibble would be the sound he makes as he, squibbles across something. The tufted squibbler. Yeah, hopefully that's a little bit better. And as I'm closing here, I'll just add a couple little shadows and things. I hope this has been helpful for everyone who's interested in creature design. I certainly am. I would love to do another one of these. Comment below if you would like to see another creature design stream, because it's definitely really fun for me, and I always end up getting something that I really didn't expect out of it. And I'll make things just a little bit lighter in certain spots, and we'll just give him a little bit of a gradient there, and there we go. Now he looks all nice and soft. Alright, that's our tufted squibbler. Tufted squibbler. Hard to say. And that is the tutorial for today. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll try and edit this into something worth watching. and I hope to see you guys around in the next couple days. Everyone stay healthy out there, and give this a shot. Honestly, if you're looking at this right now and thinking, I can't do this, yeah, you can. Give it a shot. You got this, and I'll see you guys later. Thanks.